Fantasy encompasses a whole range of different themes, of different styles, from standard high magic, lots of magic all over the place, to maybe sword and sorcery where the bad guys are the only ones or the main ones who have magic, and everything else is you're just kind of warriors. Or it could be, you could style it with different things like cowboys or a Wild West theme, or maybe a African theme or an Asian theme, or most common is European, Middle Ages, but you could do different types. But there's also some things of modern fantasy. Hello, welcome back, or welcome to DIS. I am Dissidia, and you are hearing me speak again, or for the first time. Whichever it is, welcome. I am glad to see you here. And today we are going to do a review of a sorcerer subclass. This one is called the Radioactive Soul. Something more in line with a modern fantasy take, but you could maybe change it for any other kind depending, which we can talk about in the next video. But let's go into the Radioactive Soul. Sorcerer, Radioactive Soul Sorcerer. Perhaps you were once a scientist who accidentally fell into a radioactive reactor. I guess that happens. Or you were irradiated with harmful particles from a celestial flare. Maybe you were disintegrated by an arcane accelerator, but later reassemble your body on your own. Whichever it is, you are blessed and cursed with immense raw power. At your option, you can pick from or roll on the Radioactive Soul Quirks table to create a quirk for your character. Radioactive Soul Quirks with a d6 and different quirks. On a 1, your skin is slightly translucent. On a 2, you barely bleed even when badly injured. On a 3, you have trouble keeping track of time. On 4, you occasionally forget you can still physically feel. On a 5, your body is oddly pliable. Or 6, you are always hot to the touch. Interesting. Altered form. You are forever changed by your incident. You may have changed size, changed color, or more. At first level, choose one of the following options. Hypersensitive, you gain blindside up to 10 feet. Irradiated, you have resistance to poison damage. Malleable, on your turn, you can move through the space of creatures the same size or larger than you, through any space that is at least one size smaller than you without squeezing. When you stop moving, the regular squeezing rules apply. Radioactive, you can cast light cantrip at will on your body as a bonus action, and you can choose to shed dim light instead of bright light within the radius. Unbounded, you gain a hover speed equal to your walking speed as long as you are not incapacitated. You can only hover up to 1 foot above the ground. Radiation Ward. Starting at first level as well, the power radiates uncontrollably from your body. At the end of a short or a long rest, you gain special temporary hit points equal to your sorcerer level. While you have these special temporary hit points, each hostile creature that starts its turn within 5 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save in DC, or become poisoned until the start of its next turn. Interesting. Core Overload. Starting at 6th level, the radioactive energy within you is extremely volatile. If you are reduced to 0 hit points, you can use your reaction to release that power. You are instead reduced to 1 hit point, and each creature within 10 feet of you takes radiant damage equal to half your sorcerer level plus your charisma modifier. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Spatial Warp. Starting at 14th level, you can spend a sorcery point as an action to teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 120 feet. A bright flash of light emanates from you immediately after you teleport. and each creature of your choice within 15 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC, or become blinded until the start of its next turn. You can also teleport others with you by spending 1 sorcery point for each willing creature that is touching you. Each creature must appear in an unoccupied space within 15 feet of your destination. And finally, Isotopic Afterimage. At 18th level, you can use an action to become radioactively charged, which lasts for 1 minute or until you die. While charged, you create a translucent, semi-corporeal afterimage of you in your space at the start of each of your turns. It sheds dim light up to 10 feet and can physically interact with objects or creatures of your choice. The afterimage rapidly decays and vanishes at the start of your next turn. As part of the bonus action used to create the afterimage, you can command it to move and take the attack, help, or use an object action using your statistics and proficiencies. On subsequent turns, you can command it again as a bonus action. Okay, you can cast spells as though you were in the afterimage's space, but you must use your own senses. Spells cast this way end when the afterimage ends. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Very, very interesting. And on to the review itself. Going back into it. Radioactive Soul, you got into an accident with some irradiated material, which is interesting, especially good for modern fantasy or maybe a sci-fi fantasy, which that would be really interesting to get into. The quirks are cool. Altered form I like. Really different little feats or features that you can use that are definitely very nice. None of them seem overly powerful or overly good. It would be nice if you could maybe switch or choose extra ones at higher levels. That would be kind of cool. Radiation Ward, that's pretty interesting. I feel like it's a little underpowered. Having it just be equal to your sorcerer level, that means at first level you get 1, and then it goes up to 20. I feel like that does seem like a little weak. Maybe a little more. I don't know what it would be. I'd have to think of that. Core Overload, that's pretty interesting. Not having to die once per long rest, which is cool. Very spatial warp is cool. Teleportation with sorcery points up to 120 feet. That's a pretty fair distance. Doesn't have a however many times per short or long rest. I think it should be maybe twice per long rest or once per short rest or something like that. Otherwise, you can just do it all the time. I mean, you're expending a sorcery point, but that's still at 14th level. You've got 14 of those. You can use those, however. Isotopic Afterimage, that's really cool. Seems like through it kind of confuses itself because it's saying you can command it again as a bonus action, but on subsequent turns, but it disappears at the start of your next turn. So you need to recreate it as a part of your on your bonus action, which is interesting. This definitely seems like something that as a sorcerer you'd want to get into the thick of it in melee. So have some melee abilities. But yeah. And spells and stuff. I feel like it would be cool if they had their own either suggested spells or spells that you already get, or maybe a little more flavored for radioactive something. Maybe you can have a aura that deals some damage over time, or stuff like that. Of course, with you can choose whatever sorcerer spells you can use and reflavor it. But I think maybe some suggestions. It seems pretty cool. Some of it does seem a little overpowered, and others seem underpowered. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. We'll do some lore crafting in the next video, of course. Um, but yeah, like it seems cool. It seems just a little bit lackluster. I think it needs a little more to show some more coolness. It seems like a neat idea that the follow through isn't quite there. Um, of course, I'm still streaming Neverwinter, going through the last area of Elemental Evil, and then Lego Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I got a sponsorship for HelloFresh, so possible one. I'm gonna try to bring them up a little bit in my streams, get paid for it. We use, in my household, we use HelloFresh quite often, and it's pretty great. So it's not something that I'm like, should I need to do some research or whatever. But yeah, that's cool. I'm doing a bit of writing. I've got one more week until school starts, so that's fun. Let's see what else. Of course, keeping your mind my sister's D&D inspired bar idea whenever that comes out. Let's see here. Next video, we're doing lore crafting around the Radioactive Soul, which should be really interesting. And then also, we're going to be doing next week, we're going on to the Warlock, which is basically, it's called, bringing it up, it's called the Lady of the White Well. It's basically a reflavoring of Hexblade. But it's kind of a King Arthur theme with a little bit of a Fae stuff, which is cool. Which is interesting to have it like written down as a different reflavoring of it. So that should be interesting. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, share if you want to. Of course, let me know in the comments below any of that stuff. Email me if you want to join my group for making better videos. And join my Discord server, link in the description below if you want to talk stuff out. Previous episode, channel subscription, of course, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video of lore crafting for the Radioactive Soul Sorcerer. This idiot, out.